Good evening, and welcome. How's everybody feeling tonight? Oh, we got a lot of really talented young people up here. Gonna need a little more heat than that. How's everybody feeling tonight? Better? Warmer? Yes. Welcome to the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. My name is Simone Jacobson. I am the Deputy Director of Words, Beats, and Life. And it's really incredible to see the way that the Kennedy Center is making space for hip hop, for the present and the future generations of this culture. And tonight we have a very special presentation. You are in day 3 of the Words, Beats, and Life Festival. We have more programs all throughout the weekend and for the next 7 days. Tomorrow we will be here for Top Notch, which is a competition of b-boys and b-girls from all over the world with a huge cash prize, and will be transforming the entire outside of the building into a giant graffiti wall. It is free. In poetry, we say only free dollars. So when I say it's free, only $3. That's pretty good. Y'all are getting much better. So we welcome you to come back tomorrow. Please join us. Just let me get a little sense. If you love poetry, can I hear your voice? Can I hear some noise? And if you love one or more of these particular poets, can we hear some noise? So without further ado, I asked our host with the absolute most, you might know him as one half of the PoemCs from HBO's Def Poetry Jam. I said, how do you want me to introduce you? And he said, let them know that I'm an alumnus of the U Street School of Hard Knocks. So without further ado, your host for the evening, Patrick Washington.
What's up, everybody? Wait, let's try that again. All right, I'm gonna step off. Wait a minute, come here. Hey, come here. No, that didn't sound, I didn't like that. Introduce me again.
Oh, he said y'all not ready yet. Y'all not warm enough. The host with the most, Patrick Washington.
That's what I'm talking about. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing out there? You go? Okay, so how many fans of hip hop? No. I mean, I'm talking b-boy, b-girls. I'm talking graffiti. I'm talking DJ. I'm talking MC. Like all of that. All the elements. We love hip hop in this building. All right. There's another element right here. All right. Let me tell you something. These kids right here, they're the future. They are the next element of hip hop, and we need to give them all of our support, all of our love. All right. So this is a celebration. That's what this is. This is not a slam. This is not any type of competition. Competition is none. All right? So I just want to make sure that we get that out the way first and foremost. DJ Casual T. Everybody give him a hand. Casual T. I said, give me some ziggy. He was like, nah, not right now. So let me run through the guidelines real quick and let you know how we all got here in this space. Each candidate here was required to submit a bio, a resume, and minimally 3 poems. All right? In addition, they were all interviewed by the director of WBAL, Mr. Mazi Mutafa, and as a result, they've all been scored, and we have selected the person who's going to represent Washington, D.C., the DMV, as the Youth Poet Laureate for 2019, okay? So we're going to celebrate, but right now, we're going to celebrate everybody. We need to hear from all of these talented people, yeah? I want to thank our 5 judges. They worked very hard. It was a very grueling process. Bomani Arma, Mr. Tony Keith, Rob Brown, Holly Bass, and this other dude named Patrick Washington. I ain't heard of him though. So I just wanted, yeah, but honestly, those names I just called out are all luminaries of this spoken word and poetry and entertainment scene. So they have been evaluated by some of the very best. All right? Now, if you haven't already, put your phones on silent. All right, that's the housekeeping rule. And we're going to call up our first poet. Who should we call up first? Ladies and gentlemen, start clapping right now for Kaya Ray Lucas!
Ghost Maker, for the students of whichever school it is this week. I stretched out my fingers. He stretched out his arms, black-clad, hard jasper eyes. I do say, in the wind, there's a time and there's a lack of it. Death is both. Death is to sit in a locked room and count on your fingers the lack of minutes. Wonder when it will end, and it never does. I stretched out my hands, paradise, oh paradise. I said to my mother the night prior that there are no ghosts and only echoes. A gunshot can make that, make it sound like thousands of unruly men shouting into a dull hole made from the digging of a fingernail. I said to my mother, were I to die, there'd be no eye to notice the going. It'd be up to you. Floral arrangements sit tucked underneath my breastbone for a bullet to take. This purgatory I swallow bites into my trachea, calls me victim. He took it up, Ghost Maker. I think quite often about how the men up there tend to look down. They have children, yes, but in castles, away from cannons, yet make the rest of us cannon fodder. A bill can be shot through, as can a backpack, as can hope. And I know it's the gunshot that dismisses you and not the teacher, so when they go into the hallway, it's filled with caskets, and that is the next class. He says he wants blood. To make my bones a bit stronger, I drank the ashes of my great-grandmother out of some hope her ghost might supersede that ghost and thus exclude me from the going. I don't know if this thought is logical. I don't know if it matters. Mother, I said on the phone, I won't see you, but I also won't know that I hadn't seen you, but I wouldn't know who you are anymore. Please help me. Oh God, please help me. I don't know if anyone can see me. He spat one. Poor acacias. He spat two, an epiphany of daffodils. He spat three. There is no ghost beyond this afterlife, at least not one you can name, but there are deaths that you can legislate away.
Next up, Michaela Lacey.
Typically, the evening before a bourgeoisie event like this, I go to my closet and pick out the most formal stitch of clothing I own, hang them on the door latch, run my shower water 10 degrees past steaming hot to release wrinkles, press my hair, paint my nails, and pick 5 new words from the dictionary. For tomorrow, I must be every black woman written out of my history book, must dig the Underground Railroad from beneath my fingertips and plant the seed for every color girl trotting in this field behind me, because I know that if I don't deliver the most impactful speech since the Emancipation Proclamation, I might as well hold the noose my people will walk into. My voice must ring in a volume that Maya Angelou can hear from the heavens. There is no room for slang. Grammatical errors must be left on the front porch stoop. I must swallow the detox out of the ghetto out of my system with a detox and a cup of morning tea the morning of. I practice and practice and practice and practice till my lips have lost all the juice that make them thick enough to speak Ebonics properly the day of. I smooth my skirt out 50 times underneath the table the day of. I let the hunger rumble in my belly, ignore the hors d'oeuvres that no one else seems to see. Fill myself with water and butterflies playing freeze tag in my stomach only until finally the hostess calls my name and the room goes dead silent. I see a white woman reaching for a handkerchief from the clutch of her purse as if she knows she's about to cry, as if she knows what she's in for, as if she's prepared to hear the omen my ancestors scream for this microphone, as if she can feel the cotton scratching beneath my fingertips, the blood, the board, the ink on this microphone. A black girl takes the podium and speaks in the most articulate way possible. And the whole room shrieks in awe, wondering how a mouth that chews up collard greens can speak in a language that people that only swallow caviar can understand. They clap for me, as if I have delivered them from the Egypt of their insulationism. They cheer for me, as if I have revealed to them what the good blacks can be like. A black girl takes the podium and is supposed to make a mockery and communicate the feelings of her people at the same time. The evening after a bourgeoisie event like this, I return home to the ghetto, rehang my clothes in the closet, close my eyes, and hope that it was worth it this time.
Next up to the microphone, Marjan Nadiri.
Trigger warning, alcoholism. Here's a toast to all the times we drink to numb life's most defining moments. Graduation parties, weddings, birthdays. The first time you offered me a drink, it was for a forgotten birthday. I remember you pulling my shoulders in close. The pungent shriek of expired bourbon would leave my eyes teary, trying to rinse out the scene I've seen far too many times. Praying for the moment you pass out. Praying I wouldn't have to witness your throat cry to coughing blood. Praying my veins go from desperate to sharp to cut your flooded veins. So I remember I took the offer and I drank it that night too, but only to try and dissolve your reflection staring too hard back at me, watch you fade into the darkness you came from, watch you disappear, even if it's only tonight, even if it's only tomorrow, even if it's every day. When alcohol becomes your greatest stain remover, remember, it removes the peace in our home, the life in our home, the safety in our home, the daughter in your home. You taught me my body was a stain that only alcohol could remove. That night, my hands turned to yours. Within seconds, the throbbing heartbeat in my ears dimmed the banging on the doors. Your remedy in my veins fade the facade yelling through the floors. You taught me to use alcohol as my Advil for the burn and every healed scar I had cut, trying to flush out the failure of a man whose habits sequence my DNA. When alcohol becomes your greatest stain remover, when you feel broken and down, what's left in the backwash of these bottles, my hands pick up the pieces. Even when you have more lacerations than apologies, even when you lash out more than you apologize, I still try to put you back together, even when we both end up bleeding. I remember waking up the morning after, the blood in my vomit as red as your eyes, the aching in my muscles as painful as seeing you smile. The fatigue ate us inside out. I remember when you taught me that alcohol peels down the pretend layers, the facade, and I'm too embarrassed to admit that we're the same at core. But I guess that's why we only get along when we're both tipsy. And I guess I should have saw this one coming. After all, like father, like daughter, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, we know her as Sasa. Please give it up for Salah Ali.
Sometimes I wonder what I would do if I were confronted by a bigot who hated me for what I wear and believe. I'm not sure what I would do in the moment. But right now, I like to think I'd start by telling them, ask me my name. Because my name is my brand, and I'm sure you've branded me terrorist, branded me oppressed daughter of an extremist herself with a hot branding iron that is your voice. You call me raghead, jihadist, backward-thinking fool, worst thing since Black Lives Matter. But if you ask me my name, I will tell you that it is Salah Ali. And this brand my mother gave me means good doer and hope and intellect. And I hope that you can use your intellect to realize good doers don't only look like you. And if they still didn't get it, then I'd say again, ask me my name. Because is that not the first step to humanization, realizing that my mother loved me the same way yours loves you and cared enough to give me an identity with these three simple words, Salah Ali. This girl standing before you now, asking you to understand that different and dangerous aren't synonyms of each other, promising you that no matter how loud you shout, hey, you terrorist, at her back, she won't respond. Because she's told you already that that is not her name. And after that, I'd say, I'm not your enemy, not against you. In fact, this fire in my belly is made for warmth and fueled by love. And yes, I do love you. And no, not because anyone told me I should, simply because you are human. And although you hate me, I am too. So ask me my name. And I will tell you that I have many. I cannot be defined by just a few syllables. My name is broken. My name is healing. My name is perseverance, and prayer is forgive and move on, but don't forget. Never forget. Never forget the way they tried to kill you and the way you refused to die. My name is Black and beautiful and Muslim and woman. My name is Salah Ali. But my friends call me Sasa. You, bigot standing before me now, may not call me Sasa.
Next up to the mic, Sasha Zinger.
Trigger warning, drug abuse. When you lit that pipe, you started a fire that burned you up immediately, but now it's slowly burning up your relationships, your emotions, your life outside of the green that you purchased from shady people online. When you lit that pipe, you started a fire that my tears attempted to put out but failed. All I wish is that little tweaks could put upon you, small changes. We could dine on that money that your lighter burns up. We can take the ones you love on a magical adventure of your spirit, which is so bright and so loose and colorful, I nearly quake. All anyone wants is you, nothing more, nothing less. When you hit that pipe, you started a fire, but fires can put out, my friend. Trust me.
Thank you, Sasha. Next up, Alondra Hernandez Segundo.
Why didn't you kill me before birth? ¿Por qué no me mataste antes de nacer? If you were gonna cause me all this pain, why wouldn't you not tell me to get involved when I was already in this mess from the beginning after all? Why can't I do something to help you when I'm also suffering? If you're not the only one suffering, why can't I? Is it really fun to get beat up? Why aren't you complaining if you know that this ain't gonna be the last time? Why would you let us children witness if you know that this I ain't gonna be the last time? Why would you let us children witness when you know I'm traumatized enough? Why do you choose to remain in silence if you know it won't change at all? It's really fun to get cheated on. Why do you continue on investigating if you know he won't change for now? Why are you so stubborn when you know that he could really kill you and kill me and kill all of us? Why stay with this monster if you can make a living on your own? It's really fun to see us all suffer as well. Why would you think that speaking up will cause more problems if staying in silence will cost a life? No, maybe more than one life. Why should I keep living like this when I'd rather live in the street in this house? No, you can't even call this house, can you? Why not moving on with us and accept reality, this cruel reality, by the way, if at the end you guys are over since long ago? Is it fun to live like this with fear? Is it that you are a masochist or has your brain stopped from the beatings of all given by this man? Lame, lame, lame. You're so lame. How could you let us and him humiliate you like this by keeping me quiet when I want to break into the words that I have hidden in my sin? My sins. You heard that right. I said it wrong so you could realize that I was wrong like he was when he put his hands on her. If you think that remaining in silence and acting are the same, you are so wrong. No woman should be treated like this, and the same goes for men who happen to go through the same stuff. And you are not the exception. No one is. You know, we humans sometimes are lame, but that does not change the fact that we can change it. And I'm not trying to pour salt in the wound, and I'm just afraid and scared that since you won't let me talk, at least writing shouldn't hurt your pride. Yeah, that pride, which you still think that you have, which actually was gone the first time you let it pass and he put your hands on you. I just hope that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you see that bruise on you could also be in your child too. And I just hope I just can survive.
Our next phenomenal poet is Arianna Monk.
Trigger warning, the truth. You see, this is America, for Pete's sake. I mean, Black lives, see, y'all just don't matter here. I mean, they say they're being treated unfair, but see, the truth is they're the ones that keep drinking up the welfare. And we even pay for their health care. I mean, it's poor Black folks shouting Black Lives Matter, but you see, the truth is Black lives don't matter. The only thing that matters is that the fat cats keep getting fatter. I mean, build a school or build a jail. You see, in a place like Baltimore, those poor Black kids, they already bound to fail in this unjust system. I see, Black people only care about two things, and that's Jordan and smoking weed. And they can't even afford to feed their children. Shall I proceed? I mean, half of y'all can't even read when white people were the ones made to succeed and exceed. You see, now we can end any debate about what it means to be free. Because you see, when Trump's in charge, I'll tell you and you won't tell me. You'll put your hand over your heart and you won't take a knee. And when Trump is president, you'll be satisfied. You see, you'll lower your fist and you'll be gratified. And you'll shut your mouth and you'll watch my people die. And then you'll wonder why. Why does the color of my skin determine whether or not I win? And why the color of my skin determines whether I'm a house Negro or a slave picking cotton. You see, and you'll kneel before me, ready to feel the bullets in my skin seek in as my reality sets in. You see, as we watch you destroy your people and continue to postpone anything that looks like freedom, thinking that you'll be free. But the truth is, you'll never be free. And when they ask you why, this is your reply. Because this is America, for Pete's sake. Thank you.
Next up to the microphone, Miss Jaslyn Ford.
I watched little girls breathe today, flourish in their innocence, make mud pies, and swing on swings without thoughts of tomorrow, make play dates with imaginary friends, play with dolls, and live in a world too sweet for adults to savor, comprehend only that play affairs end at sundown and that mama is their protector. I watched little girls breathe today, eyes closed, teeth appearing to be powered by sunshine, thoughts only invaded by ideas of what's for dinner that night, or better yet, what'll be for dessert. No concept of the possibility that danger exists or is even possibly in their own backyard when tragedy was a scraped knee or missing chocolate cake because you didn't eat your broccoli that night. I watched little girls breathe today, breaths of life, light, and naiveness, unaware that with eyes closed, danger was even a concept that could take their breath away, that without being careful, the danger of talking to strangers that was hinted about by grandma while handing you that piece of butterscotch candy wasn't even the greatest threat. The concept that danger could be that family friend that wasn't so friendly was an unfathomable truth, too harsh for little girls whose hearts were still as soft as the Laffy Taffy still stuck in their teeth. Did you know that 90% of victims of sexual abuse know they're predators? That the stranger we always thought was coming was never foreign to begin with? My grandmother told me not to talk to strangers, but forgot to tell me that sometimes danger is wearing a familiar face and that if you are not careful, they will steal your breath away just the same. And I have been breathless ever since.
Our next poet, Porsha Oparaocha.
My story may be history, but my footsteps are action. How does it feel to be an African American? Why are you asking? Origin has been forgotten and now Brahmin are getting shot in. Unity is a part of me. Discrimination is the death of me. The sound of thunder got me scared. These death stares got me feeling weird. I just want to holler at all my fears. Change gonna come one day. Change gonna come one day. Change hasn't come today. Afraid to express my tone, I think they're afraid of what's unknown. Blinded by what's on the outside, I just wanna holler at all these lies. Look at me, look at me. Why does my tone define who I am within? How does it feel to be an African American? Why are you still asking? Thank you.
Thank you, Porsha. Our next poet, Anna Boyer.
Inside of each of us, there is a story. And we're pushing our way forward, searching for the glory, because a hero's only actions are always laudatory. But some days we feel like we're stuck in this mandatory allegory, pure purgatory. Reaching for the light, but this dark goddess trap pulls us back, almost snapped. In fact, we are cracked. Not intact, not exact, and the odds are ever stacked, but we will learn to adapt though the world stands against us. Because stories have heroes, and heroes have trials, dealing with exile and hostile libel, crawling on mile after mile after mile, wondering at times if it's even worthwhile anymore. And we come to these times in our lives where we're just on the floor. Insecure at our core, we deplore, unsure of what we're fighting for. We're certain that we've lost this war. Inside of each of us, there lives a story. But this hero's got a decision. Will they pursue their vision without recognition and despite all derision? Will they forge through collision with precision and ambition, finding their commission and the strength to stand the storm? Heroes know what it is to transform, know what it is to be a firestorm. But you can't reform when you only conform for the sake of staying uniform. Heroes live in stories, and the stories live in me. Heroes live in stories, and the stories live in you. Heroes live in stories, and the stories live in us. And some days things get rough, and things get tough, and we huff, and we puff, and we bluff. But it's just not enough. But there's hope on the horizon, and I can see the dawn because the heroes aren't gone. We just have to press on. We are a tapestry of threads weaving together, each in its perfect place. We are a masterpiece, a legend. Inside of each of us, there lives a story. And it's not over yet.
Keep clapping for Quentin Andrews.
A bit of a trigger warning. Slavery. I know I want to raise my sprite, but I have to be real. This world that I'm in, it isn't for me. I'm no coward. I know I'm a man, but I must flee. My time here has taken, it surely has taken its toll. It chills my body, but not my soul. I'll find my way under the cloak of the powerful night. I'd risk my life twice, no, thrice to escape this plight. Dying is quite trite to me, finding out what it's like to have a right. The overseer's scorn is dull, unsharpened compared to the Freedom Axe's might. My companions have lost the flame in their heart. They see no way out without a grim driven cart. Even if the trip was ghastly, I'd enjoy that over bondage vastly. I can feel the call, the touch of my ancestors to sunder from these vampiric molesters. Haunted by European marauders, I won't stand for losing my daughters to these stalkers and robbers, this evil that treat my people like less than fathers. Imagine slaves who were fathers. I'll find my way to my light. I'll carry myself as a knight. Grab my sword and my shield if it means I get to raise my sprite. She will learn, she must learn how to write. She will be the most beautiful, and she will be the most bright, because I know that I will get the chance to raise my sprite. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gabriela Orozco.
Born into contrasting legacies, hailing from multiple nationalities, my conflicting identities fight for pieces of me. My Hispanic ethnicity warring against my Jewish history, fighting over the territory of how I tell my story, how I define myself. That decision is mine and no one else's. I will not bow to your small-minded compressions. I extend beyond the first impressions. Over the labels and quick judgments I transcend. My being will not be squeezed into a label for your ease because I do not exist to please. Because my being doesn't fit into a single box to be checkmarked, it cannot be compiled into a single set of census-devised constraints. My identity breaks the barriers with which you wish to define me. I define myself by my legacy. Because my identity is a woven tapestry of my people's history, our existence over the centuries, I am the culmination of the collective story of my family. This rich image, more expansive than the box they seek to put me in, the grandiose depiction spreading out over a map that grows beyond their narrow horizons. Never been stopped for my passport, a burden my father never asked for. Some say it's sin and sacrilege to my hiding Hispanic heritage to embrace this white privilege. But it's too easy when everyone forgets. Despite this great city, I'm lost in the diversity. There's no one else like me. I'm the only one who's Sephardi and Ashkenazi, even in Washington, D.C. Too many identities for them to see. Never gazing clearly, ignore my nationalities. They miss parts of me, choosing who they want me to be, as if they see the rest of my destiny. But do they really see me? ¿Me ves? ¿Soy el único que entiendes? Am I the only one who understands who I am? I search in the church, I should be in the hood, drink the wine y como el pan. Don't be surprised I don't worship San Juan. My Zadie ate latkes y mi padre come el flan. I shrink away when they say God bless ya, because my abuela prays in el iglesia. I forget, they resent what I could represent. I say I live in Southeast, they think Capitol Hill, they called us rapists and beasts, forget about the natives they killed. My parents' story, nothing but an anecdote, even though my mother can't vote. My father dark enough to be illegal, my mother a gringo with a green card, yet he proudly stands for our eagle, my mother working for those stripes and stars. Cuando yo hablo inglés, the churchgoers say God bless. When I speak Espanol, they think I'm the devil. I forget, they resent what I could represent. They consider us parasites, all we do is breed, steal, and fight. Fear the day when America's a shade less white, fear that my existence proves them right. They won't forget what I represent. I don't need acknowledgement or to hear your 2 cents to remember my descent. My fight for acceptance meant it won't relent. I hope you always remember where I came from. My roots last forever, even though I don't belong. No, you won't forget who I really am. I've got more than one homeland, but for yours, I'll still stand. My skin may be lighter than my fellow brothers and sisters, so I'll scream for them, my voice giving strength to the whispers. I've got more to gain by staying ashamed, but they forget I'm a flame. I burn through the pain. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, last but by no means least, start clapping for Xavier. Boom!
Trigger warning, sexual assault. As a child, I was always afraid of the dark. Well, I didn't specifically fear just the dark, but anything that could be lurking in there. See, I mean monsters. You know, sharp teeth, long claws, and horrible smells. See, I often found comfort when the lights were on. See, somehow flicking that switch made them all disappear. Over time, I overcame my fear. I came to the conclusion that monsters, they weren't real. They were just figments of my imagination. And then there's you. I see you, and I wonder how something can look so human-like, who can walk, talk, and act just like me, and yet be so empty inside. I wonder how long it took you to escape from hell. How long did it take you to crawl from the cracks in the concrete? I wonder if Satan knows one of his demons is missing. Answer me this. How many skeletons do you have in that closet of yours? How many beds have you made go bump in the night? How many women had to question their sanity because, like me, they believe monsters were merely fiction, then feel helpless when they realize real monsters don't feel the light switch? How many had to find out that monsters are just as real as the air we breathe? How many had to find out that real monsters smell like Polo cologne? How many women to this day live through the hell that you brought to them? How dare you pretend that you aren't deaf,
riding on a pale horse, bringing apocalypse with you. How dare you pretend that you aren't a sheep in wolf clothing? How dare you pretend that you aren't a wolf in sheep's clothing, preying on the innocent just to assert dominance? How dare you pretend there isn't a woman out there slicing her skin, trying to remove your fingertips from her body? And I've tried to understand you. Maybe you couldn't help yourself. Maybe she was asking for it. Maybe it wouldn't happen if she didn't dress like that. See, I've tried to swallow this pill that you call truth, but honestly, I can't stomach your behavior. See, every time I see you, I want to drench you in gasoline, light a match, throw it and watch you burn, but I know you'll feel right at home at the demon that you are. I want to drive a stake through your chest, but I want to drive a stake to your chest, watch you disintegrate as a blood-sucking vampire that I know you to be, but I know, even if I kill you, even if I send you back down to Satan himself, there are still millions of monsters, millions of demons underneath the beds of the innocent, waiting for the lights to turn off, around dark corners, waiting on their next victims, all of them, pretending to be human. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to clap and applaud for all of these poets. Did you hear what they just did? Here's the funny part. Like, the competition was a ruse. If y'all know Mozzie, the director of WBAL, you know he's a genius, but he's also tricky. So, like, this is not really about the laureate. He just gathered up a team. Like, you guys he's like Professor X and y'all the X-Men now. So you guys are going to be his little army of poets, and he's going to send you out, you know, into the world, and, you know, he's going to provide training for you. WBL provides classes, free classes through the Urban Arts curriculum, so you guys are part of that, all right? And you're tricked. Ha-ha, we got you. Now, but this was also a writing contest. This wasn't a performance contest, so this was, you know, just having fun. Now that the fun is out of the way, we do have to get to the nitty-gritty. We have 5 finalists. And this is the part where you sweat. Wait a minute. This is not the full list. Hang on. Don't move. All right. I'm going to put on my phone. Sent me an update. So our 5 finalists, we're going to hear from them once more, and then I'm going to name the Poet Laureate. The first finalist, Kaya Ray Lucas. The second finalist, Jaslyn Ford. Number 3, Gabriela Orozco. Four, Anna Boyer. Then the 5th one, Michaela Lacey. So, in that order, we're going to hear from these last finalists, Kaya, Jaslyn, Gabriela, Anna, and Michaela. At the end of that, I will announce the 2019 DC Poet Laureate. Next up, Kaya.
I wanted to wear a dress, but was not brave enough to die. I was, before all of this, a finger length away from a metro martyrdom. To see a pair of lights that look like archangel eyes fall into the underneath of an echo. I closed my fist about my fingers and measured them. I measured them. I held my breath. I tried to learn from the poplars what it meant to wear a skirt. I tried to learn from the mirror who I was, but I couldn't see her. In 8th grade, I was binary thin. You could slip the name man on one side and woman on the other, and I still would have asked you to shoot a hole through me so the blood might congeal the ink and conjoin the two. Say miracle on the tip of my tongue sounds like rail cars incoming. I can't close my eyes. I can still see Gabriel. There's a theory that the critics like. They say we observe the poem and base it upon its merit alone. However, I close my fist along those poems and measure them, feel them jolt at my fingertips, feel them punch on the inside of my palm. The pretext is praxis, and I don't know how to apply anything. I'm afraid to look at the dress in the clothes basket is to have a dermis of paper, an aluminum foil skeleton. I don't want to die, but I think they will kill me anyways, were I to undress, fall apart with my unmeasured fingers into a cup of tea as I stir. The theory requires the context of the poem to be apparent. I imagine were we to live in a world where trans people were written out of existence, you'd need a historian to understand the words we used, and somehow I'd still get clocked. Context, while it is everything, everything is context. Here, the cup of McDonald's coffee left in my mother's car for 3 weeks. Here, my agate bones and dusted immortality underneath my paper dermis. Here, my mother's handiwork, these twisted locks. Here, I hold my fist to my throat. I hold my fist to my throat. They hold their fists to my throat. They measure me. Am I to burn in the men's bathroom or drown in the women's? Which death precedes my step? Imagine the first, tottering on high heels. Imagine the second, dancing on her palms. Imagine a third, a non-existent third, written out of existence by chortles of half-queer, whole man. I tried to miracle my way out of suicidality. I say and do not say many things, but I refuse to explain my flesh as it is. Here it comes, the last train. Angel Gabriel in his tunic dresses me in floral. The straight boys in math class still call me queer.
Jaslyn, forward.
The other day, I was in the checkout line at the grocery store. I had a bundle of flowers in my hand. When the woman inquires whether or not I was buying these for my mother, I chuckled and told her they were for myself. She looks down and responds with an O. My mother always told me that kindness is the quickest way to make someone fall in love with you. I have started implementing this method on myself since we stopped. I buy myself roses with thorns to remind myself that kindness comes with a price. I've learned that sometimes painful things come in beautiful packages and are better left untouched. My love for you was something that was better left untouched, something that was better left uncultivated. When I buy the roses, I always put them in water with a pill of aspirin. They always die, one petal at a time, and I imagine the rose mourns every petal's death like I mourn conversations and beautiful moments gone sour. I buy these roses as a reminder to never go through this again, to love from a distance. You always said I was your flower, and I used to think that was beautiful until I watched one die, until I watched a gardener dispose of a decaying flower like trash amongst all the vile things that people didn't want anymore, and when flies start swarming around that trash to pick the remnants of what nourishment that rose had left to give, when you requested that we try one more time, I realized that you only came back to finish the job, to ensure there was no sustenance left. Today, when I bought the roses for myself, I planted them, and I now know my love is something worth caring for.
Our next finalist, Gabriela Orozco.
I pound my hand upon my chest, hating myself for having regressed, for not working towards being my best. But my friends, I confess. But my friends, I digress. Do you truly want to hear me confess? Confess to the truth and confess to the lies? Admit my failures and admit that I was wrong? Or would you rather not hear my apology? Let me blame my faults on my youth and those who caused my cries? Say that I succumbed and that I wasn't strong? Oh, it's so much easier to point the finger at someone else than putting in the effort of bettering myself. That's what I'm here for, to be better than I was before. For the flux of tumultuous times, countered with the rosy flush of joy, oh so sublime, forgive me, I know I won't rhyme. There's a reason there's a Day of Atonement, because my victory to this battle won't be won yet. I try and I try, but my wings aren't ready to fly. I know I should be proud that I have survived, yet I can't stop dreaming of the days when I'll thrive. To be honest, some days I just don't have the drive, because I know that suffering is part of being alive. Then I realize it's also about learning to strive. Thank you.
Anna Boyer.
There are things we ought to understand, and those beyond all comprehension. Moments we let slip past us on cat's feet, and opportunities we chase always just beyond the horizon. There are mountains we climb simply for the sake of reaching the top, tasting freedom. Oceans we would cross if only utopia awaited on the other side. Scratch that. Anything's utopia compared to here. 'Cause the grass is always greener from this side of the fence we built. And we're running rat races, scrambling over each other, though somehow we've lost sight of where that finish line got to, failing to realize the wheel beneath us. And we dare not leave this well-traveled path because here be monsters. Never mind if they be real or imagined. But the rain outside falls gentler now, droplets leaping from one leaf to another in their personal quest for gravity. The sky wraps itself in dove gray, and it's tempting, so tempting, to let the calm claim me to sleep. But this drowsy death to monotony is more dangerous than poison and twice as common. We prick a finger on the promising spindle and wake, only to find that the world has passed us by and we are alone. Because maybe the fading of the light isn't the only thing we should be fearing, but our own loss of appreciation for it. This world, this life is so beautiful. It deserves some kind of recognition, some sort of active acknowledgement. Seize this life, seize this day, seize this moment. Carpe diem.
And our final finalist, Michaela Lacey.
I wonder, was God in the room? Were chairs set aside for 16 angels to watch, and guide you in execution of this ritual, did you wash your hands first? Pour 3 times into your right, then rub the soap unto your left. Did you raise your hands in prayer before you raised them at her face when my great-grandmother walked into your bedroom? Did she mistake the candles lit for romantic purposes when you slapped her? Did her chest cave in as if her soul was being ripped from its vessel when you made a sacrifice? Out of my great-grandmother's body, did she fall to her knees for your mercy? Did you forgive her? For the bloodstains she left on your floor, did you forgive her? For the shriek she pierced your ear holes with, did you forgive her? For whatever made you do it in the first place, did you know that your hands came with a ripple effect? That your slaps could be felt on the faces of your descendants 4 generations later? Did you know that you breathed life into a demon that would haunt the bedrooms of all the women in your bloodline? Did you know that you marked a blueprint for men to love your granddaughters the right way in the tradition of men in my blood? The man that I love left a bruise on my face, and I still loved him after. Consumed by the belly of an untaught ritual, swallowed whole by a man, craving to make me half a woman, raised to fill up shoes but to never take up space in the tradition of women in my blood, I fell to my knees in him, kneeled in my own blood pool and sought forgiveness, wiped the mark from my cheek with bare hands and a closed fist, repented for a sin I knew not I was committing. I wonder, was God in the room to witness the heathen I had made of myself? To the man who laid my body at an altar and made an offering out of my skin, did you know you remind me of my great-grandfather, a butcher, able to shed the skin of women only using his bare hands when you made a sacrifice out of my body? Did you know that I'd still love you after? Did you know that me still loving you after had nothing to do with me still loving you after? I just didn't know how to break tradition. Did you know that I am sick of the women in my bloodline never being able to break tradition, passing down battle scars like sweet potato pie recipes, never tasting the salt that forms in your mouth when a man makes a ritual out of your body? To the man who walked in the blood trails of my great-grandfather, did you know that my hands held history? And when I slapped you back, did you know that my great-grandmother pulled a chair from her coffin and sat aside me just to watch me? I am so sorry that I had to make a sacrifice out of your body, but I just had to break tradition, had to mark a blueprint for men to love my granddaughters the right way, had to assure that no more women in my blood would be cursed by a man like my great-grandfather.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to clap for Kaya, Michaela, Marjan, Salia, Sasha, Alondra, Arianna, Jaslyn, Porsha, Anna, Quentin, Gabriella, and Xavier. We are out of time, so drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, keep it going. What are y'all doing? All the way till I say the name. And in the back, I need a drum roll too. The 2019 Washington, D.C. Youth Poet Laureate, Gabriella Orozco. She's looking shocked. Give her a hand, y'all. Now we're supposed to cut it and go home, so I don't know. Are we allowed to do a final poem, or is that it? Somebody tell me. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm going to step off and let them do their thing. All right. Gabriella, go.
Okay. That was
shock. I was not expecting that. So I just gotta find something of like a poem to read. Oh, good choice, good idea, okay. I'll do that one.
Hurry up.
Sorry, okay.
This song was inspired by this poem was inspired by a song written by a South African musician, and it's called The Revolution Will Eat Our Children. From South Africa to Nicaragua, my parents' homelands to America, history being shaped by their young war cries, screaming for the day a new dawn would rise. What happens to the children of the resistance? Are their dreams of freedom put into existence? What happens when the fighter's blood is shed? Who shall honor the dreams of the dead? What do you do when the same pattern emerges of passports, the taxes, the reforms, the purges? When you spend your college years protesting the police, fighting for a future of equality and peace, when you were forced to leave your country before you turned 18, how does it feel to grow up with your dreams unseen? Let us honor our parents' revolutionary legacies so we may shape a world they never got to see. From South Africa to Nicaragua, my parents' homelands to America. The fists of the youth are raised in the air. We scream for a world that is just and fair. We're sick of the dictators plotting their schemes, pressure building up to overthrow the regimes. The world trembles and shakes, fearful of the new dawn's wake. We are the seeds that grow. We are the ones that overthrow. We, the youth, pave a new path of history, uniting the world in hope of equality. Our cries for change echo across the world, screaming for a day when all voices are heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriella. Thank you very much. We will see you back here tomorrow for day 4 of the WBAL Fest. We'll have B-boys and graffiti all over this place, so stick around. Thank you very much.